World Bank did, the calling or the cutting of the facility that was allocated as a result of the anti-homosexuality bill which was passed. Amid all these biting conversations about where the money is going to come from, I made research and established that the Auditor General report of 2022 reflected that 20 trillion worth of loans which were approved for government to be used in various endeavors was not utilized. As a result of that, those facilities do fetch 392 billion as commitment fees for not using those loan facilities. 392 billion being spent only on money which is not being used by government. You would wonder, why in the first place did you ask for that money when you don't intend to use it? Question number 2, why is it that people go ahead and ask for facilities which are not necessary? They are not required. You ask for them and you do not use them, only to face 392 billion as commitment fees. That's a lot of money. Look at the IT report of 2022. We lost 11 trillion in corruption-related scandals. 1 to 11 trillion. Quarter the budget, quarter the national budget. 11 trillion in corruption. Really? That loss alone reflects that we do not need whatever the amount of money that the World Bank pulled off. It's not necessary. You look elsewhere, minerals. As we were coming out of the pandemic season, the COVID season, Ugandan minerals, this include gold, uranium, cobalt, ore, and all those, fetched 23 trillion UGX. 23. It's not even reflected in the national budget. 23 trillion is not reflected in the current national budget, but that was an income which came from our Uganda, our mineral resources. It's not reflected in the budget. If only you could go ahead, when I say you, government, if only you could go ahead and look at cutting money we lose in corruption-related activities, and you just cut it by 30%, we would not even be having a conversation about what the World Bank thinks or does not think. We cannot go ahead and, well, make peace with homosexuality and their rights simply because they are giving us that small money, which we do not even need in the first place. We do not need it. Even when it comes to, look, just cut corruption by 30%. That's being generous. You can keep the 70%, but cut it by 30%. We will not be having problems with who cares or what not to give us. It doesn't matter. Look at the classified expenditure of State House and its related organs, security and all that. 7 trillion shillings. 7 trillion. Almost equivalent to what the World Bank is taking away. Right? 7 trillion in classified expenditure alone. Reconcile it with the loan interest on current loans that we do have. 7 trillion. That is a lot of money. A lot of it. There would not be any conversation about what World Bank thinks about Ugandans. Ugandans made their point. They decided that this country does not relate well with homosexuality. So for them to go ahead and impose it onto us is totally not necessary. In any case, if only in minerals and other export products, such as the UPDF is being exported to the Central African Republic, to Congo, Sudan. There is money being made right there. Where is the money coming from? The services, the UPDF, the Uganda People's Defense Forces, they are offering to other people outside UG, outside Uganda. Where is that money? Does not reflect on the national budget. Let government account for all sorts of income, national income, which comes from various services that we do offer. That include the UPDF. Reduce extravagance. What are we saying? What we are saying is government should account for that money, bring it into the national coffers, and sooner or later you realize that, well, the conversation about bank becomes irrelevant, totally unnecessary, and very, very uncalled for. Recently, a government minister, a full government minister, Minister Msasizi went on the floor of the parliament and presented his case that civil servants should be cut, their salaries must be revisited as a result of wanting to compensate for what we are losing from World Bank. Really, you would wonder, such a person of this caliber, those guys are meagerly paid. They are not paid money that is worth their service. Why would you want to cut their salaries? Start with yourselves. Jaja Mwami should lead that charge and say my expenditure as State House is over the roof, it is through the roof, plus all the people in the hierarchies, the authorities in various government institutions, URA, UNRA, KCCA, UMEME, and all those other government institutions. All of those ones should be a representative example upon which the rest of the other guys should look at and say, look, I think it is only fair. We've had this challenge with the World Bank. It's only fair that we start with our own selves. You lead from the front. You give examples. It will be even much easier for people who are your subordinates to understand you from where you're coming from.